Well, y'all, this is the first. So, a owner found out Portuguese is still following up on a recall issue over 30 years ago. And this came out November the 21st of 2025. So, this is like 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. When you hear about a recall, it's usually from a car that's still fairly new. Most recalls from the like of the auto giants such as Toyota or Ford don't stretch back to the model more than 10 years old. So when you really old car gets the recall, it's kind of a strange. So when I saw the owner of a 1986 Porsche 944S, a car that is nearly 40 years old, post on X, formerly Twitter, about the receiving a letter from Porsche dating this month following up about a recall, I had to know more. So yeah, this gonna be strange but at the same time interesting. I mean, this is the first for me. A recall, a vehicle fall upon a recall that happened 30 years ago. Wow. So let's go ahead and get into this one.
So when I saw the owner of a 1986 Porsche 944S, a car that is nearly 40 years old, post on X, formerly Twitter, about receiving a letter from Porsche dated this month, following up about a recall, I had to know more. I took our 100,000-mile Nissan Murano Cross Cabriolet to a detailer, and now it looks incredible. Watch more. Tap for more the Autopian videos. It turns out that Porsche is just really good about making sure all of its recalled vehicles get the service they deserve, even if that car predates the fall of the Berlin Wall. The fateful tweet. While doom scrolling on X last week, I came across a post from user at Chris Pointman, who shared a photo of what looked to be a letter dated November 6, 2025 from Porsche UK, notifying them about a recall for their 1986 Porsche 944S. The recall was safety related and had to do with some faulty wiring in the steering system. Here's exactly what it said. Owner finds out Porsche is still following up on a recall issued over 30 years ago. Porsche continuously monitors its products on the market. For Porsche, one thing is paramount and added to driving pleasure typical of the brand, your safety, and that of your passengers. We are contacting you today for this reason. What is the issue? We have discovered that a section of electrical wiring to the power steering pump could overheat under certain operating conditions. What are we going to do? To eliminate the risk, we will install additional electrical protection. What should you do? Please contact your preferred Porsche center to arrange an appointment for you to have this essential recall carried out on your Porsche. The necessary work will be carried out free of charge. Most of this stuff is standard recall letter talk. But seeing it in regard to an old 944 is still pretty funny. I did some digging to see just how long this recall has been outstanding, and, well, I'm not sure how the wiring survived this long. While there's nothing available publicly on Porsche's website or the UK's recall site, I found this post on the Pelican Parts forum from 2013 talking about what sounds like the same recall. Showing a document dated December 12th, 1991. The 944 used a fairly standard belt-driven hydraulic steering system. These days, people are most concerned about leaks due to old seals. Source Porsche. So while I would have loved to hear Porsche is still collecting data on issues relating to a car it hasn't built for 34 years, that's not what's happening here. Instead, it's simply sending a letter to follow up on a car that, after all these decades, has yet to receive the recall work. Seeing this type of stuff, where manufacturers follow up on safety recalls years after the car leaves showrooms, isn't uncommon for safety-related items. The oldest instance I've personally come across is when I first registered my 2008 Subaru Impreza WRX that I bought in 2017. About a week after I put plates on the car, I started getting bright red letters in the mail with huge words expounding on the dangers of my Takata airbags, which still hadn't been replaced. I never got them replaced either, so I'm sure the guy I sold it to also got those letters. This case on the 944 is probably very similar, but here it's gone on for far longer. Porsche has done this before. Source Porsche. Curious to find out whether this letter posted to X was legit, I reached out to Porsche UK to see if it'd give me a statement. A representative confirmed to me that yes, these letters get sent out from time to time. Though it's pretty rare. This was a straightforward process where we sent letters to customers owning cars with outstanding workshop campaigns. The information is shared by the organization in the UK responsible for maintaining the National Vehicle Registration Database. It is part of our duty and commitment to customer care. It is unusual for a car of this age, but with changes of ownership and periods where the car might have been off the road or in storage. These circumstances can occur occasionally. Source Porsche. This isn't the first time Porsche has piqued the interest of the car world with its recall methods. Back in 2023, Porsche issued a recall for the Carrera GT, a car it hadn't built for 17 years. After discovering that road salt could corrode suspension pieces, leading them to fail. These were different circumstances, of course. In the case of the Carrera GT, Porsche had actually discovered a new fault and issued a brand new recall versus this 944, where the recall had been issued for years, just after production ended. It's free repair work, so why not? The only question I had left after this discovery was whether the owner of this 944 would actually take it to a Porsche dealer to get this issue addressed, once and for all. After all this time, it's entirely possible they, or a previous owner, had the wiring problem fixed by a third party, or even fixed it themselves. Amazingly though, Chris told me the wiring on his car is likely original, which means it hasn't been touched by a mechanic or owner, and hasn't yet gone bad. Instead of addressing the issue themselves, they're smartly planning to get it into the dealer to take advantage of that sweet, sweet free labor. I've not had a chance to speak to Porsche Nottingham yet, but I am looking to book it in for the new year. Chris told me over X the 944 is SORN at the moment. I would need to tax it to get it there. SORN is an acronym for Statutory Off-Road Notification, which is just a status you have to declare for your car in the UK if you don't plan to use it on public roads. It lets you avoid paying for taxes and insurance. Personally, I'm excited to see how a Porsche dealership will go about addressing this issue. Something tells me the tech assigned to that job will have a great time. Top graphic image, Porsche.
Okay, this is a first for me. I've been doing recall information on my channel for a while. I think this is the first time ever on my channel I come across a recall on a vehicle that happened over 30 years ago. And here's my question. Portuguese is a vehicle they still make now. Even though this is the Pacific brand of Portuguese they don't make no more. You think because they make Portuguese in general, you think they would have looked into it, because you know Portuguese they'll suffer recalls over time too. And they had their fair share of being recalled for electrical issue back in the past as well. So I know this particular brand of Porsche, went, like they said, went out. They stopped making them. This version they stopped making them, but still, how did this go unnoticed? That's the number one question I have. How did this type of recall, safety recall at that, go unnoticed for that long? And I'm surprised the owner of that Porsche ain't had no type of like incident with his car. If it had electrical issues, I mean, this is some interesting information right here. I don't see how the world. Wow. Y'all got to tell me what y'all think about this. This is a first for me. We call that of a vehicle that happened over 30 years ago. But then again, the Takata airbag, that's been the problem that been going on for over 10 years. So maybe I shouldn't be too surprised about that. But with this particular type of situation, I'm like, still. And judging from the information, all this happening, this taking place, will be taking place over the UK. I really don't understand how some of these situations end up being ignored for so long. I don't see how these people manage to do this. I really don't. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I'll leave the information in the article in the description box. I'm out.